Alrighty, well here's the first artwork of Patreon for May. And excuse my voice because I'm sick or allergies or something. I don't know why I always record when I'm sick. It's just my thing now. Anyway, I'm just gonna explain some notes of relevance of the video. This is just the conception stage. I had this idea in mind for quite a while and I was just thumbnailing some composition ideas. And here I'm using Ohuhu markers. They're basically like Copic markers, but a lot more affordable. I was using that random flare, purple flare pen marker to outline. And now I'm thinking about some colors that might work. And I definitely wanted it to have some sort of a background. So here I'm doing a secondary thumbnail of a more finalized drawing. And these are the color samples I went with. And I put these pixels in the background, or these pixel blocks. And then I realized they were so small that I wanted them to be a lot bigger on the background, so I just colored in like roughly 4 blocks of color. There's my cool little tape measure. Well, here I am doing the final piece, the 5x7 final marker artwork. And by the way, the tape you're seeing on that seam in my desk isn't holding my desk together. It's there because the seam is a little crooked, so when my mouse runs over it, it kind of catches. So I put the tape on there to make it smooth, so that's just explaining that. You can see the Ohuhu markers blend really well, but the problem is this paper. It's... hold on, I'm looking at the notepad right here. Canson Mix Media, which is supposed to be good for almost any kind of medium, right? It says for acrylic, watercolor, pen, and pencil. And it is thick paper, like the marker. You could see the marker on the back, but it wouldn't like bleed through. But it is pretty soft, and these markers like feathered out and bled pretty bad over time. But I mean, look at the colors. They blend really, really well, and they're not streaky or anything. But this paper just was not a good fit, I think, for this marker, which is weird because I thought mixed media could pretty much take anything. I must be thinking of Bristol. Bristol's more smooth and not as, what's the word, like clothy. I don't know how this controller would ever be effective in real life. I mean, it might be a good hand shape, maybe. But like the cord's really short, and I don't know about the D-pad being on the top, but whatever. It's aesthetically pleasing, that's what matters, right? Alright, and then I'm having so much fun coloring in these little squares. The black marker did bleed a little bit into the colors. I ended up foregoing that purple flare marker for just the black Ohuhu marker, because I realized it was going to be too thin. And it's just... as I go on, you can just see it's just like bleeding, and yeah, you can see all the mistakes. So I was like, oh, I'm going to touch it up anyway, but then I ended up like completely redrawing it digitally. And here I'm using the program Clip Studio. No, Paint. What's it called? Paint Pro? Something like that. It's essentially Manga Studio, which I use on my PC, but I was using this on my tablet, my Surface Go. And here I'm just flicking back and forth to match the colors. And I put that little SF, my initials, because there was a blank space, and then I thought it could be like a little decal, and it just filled up the space nicely, and that was a way to sign it, like, subtly. Because I don't like when there's just a big signature in the bottom corner. I think it's very distracting. And here I am experimenting with the background. I hit on the right color, and I'm trying different textures. Oh, and for the dark purple background, I just copied and pasted the image and colored it all in dark purple, the same as the outline. There we go, we're settling on the right background. And there, I'm just doing the final touches of making a wider border, because I did do a test print and it was very close to the border. And I also thought the purple was a little too dark, printed a little too dark, so I lightened it. And I think that's about it, yep. So that's from concept to final to actually final. And I just love the colors. It has like such a retro feel. Alright, well that's the first artwork of Patreon for Tier 3. I hope you enjoyed.